Yeah, welcome to today's lesson. Today we are going to learn more about energy. So, by the end of it, and you're with me, Kholola. By the end of this topic, you're supposed to explain the meaning of energy, identify types of energy, explain how energy is produced from the sun, wind, and also water, as you can see. And also describe the advantages and disadvantages of each type of energy, explain the importance of energy, and also explain the environmental impact of various sources of energy, and also uh, familiarize yourself with the energy crisis in Malawi. We'll start by defining what natural resources are, as you know that energy comes from natural resources. So natural resources, these are things which are provided by nature. Anything that is provided by nature uh, is termed as natural resources. So resources or natural resources are categorized in two parameters. These are renewable sources and also non-renewable resources. Now let's dive in by looking at renewable sources. So renewable sources, these are sources which can be replaced or replenished. In other words, these are resources that can be recycled. These includes vegetation, animals, air, and the soil. On the other hand, non-renewable resources is the opposite of renewable resources. So this means non-renewable resources are resources that cannot be replaced once in use or cannot be recycled. They are completely used up. For example, the minerals. We talk of gold. Once gold exploration is done, you cannot replace it. We talk of petroleum. These are fossils. Crude oil. Once you overuse them, they're gone. And natural gas. Now, let's dive in to the natural resources which are a source of energy. So, the sun provides solar energy. Water and tidal waves provide hydroelectric power energy, also known as HEP, and also the fossil fuels. We talk of petroleum, coal, and natural gas, and the thermal energy provide the thermal energy. Wind, as a natural resource, produces wind energy. Hot springs and geysers produces geothermal energy, and biomass produces biogas energy. Now, let's look at another term, which is the alternative energy. So, in addition to these renewable and non-renewable sources, we also have what is known as alternative energy. So, what do we mean when we say alternative energy? As the term suggests, this is the energy that cannot be depleted when used. It can be recycled. I believe you know the conservation law of energy. It says energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but it changes from one form to another. So, in other words, it's called the renewable energy. So, examples of alternative hydraulic energy include hydroelectric power, also known as HEP, geothermal energy, uh, now wind energy, solar energy, and biogas. These fall under the category of alternative energy. Now, thermal energy is not an alternative energy because it can not be recycled. Once you have used the logs, they are gone. You cannot renew them. You cannot recycle them. Now, let's dive in looking these types of energy in detail. Hydroelectricity or hydroelectric power. It is produced when water from a good height with a good force through the penstock turns the turbine. The turbine in turn causes the generator to produce electricity. So, as you can see the diagram here, we have the reservoir, and this is the head of the water, a good height as you can see. Then we have this one as penstock, we have this one a turbine, generator, then we have tailors where it produces some heat. Now, after connecting the turbine to the generator, it produces hydro electric power, which we can use in the name of electricity. Thank you.